What's up, my people? Welcome to Exploring the Ka, where you explore the spiritual coordinates of your body. My name is Ra Castaldo, and it is a cold November morning here in New York, in the Hudson Valley of New York. And we're going to take you through a paranormal encounter that I had when I was a child. And we're going to talk you guys through it now. Hey, Mike, what's up? Now, what you guys see here is the North Rockland soccer fields. What's up, Mike? This is the North. I spent many a day on these fields playing, not only rec soccer on Sundays, but school soccer played here. I was on the school team. Travel soccer, this was our home field. And I played for the 1978 New York Sting, and which was like the best kids from my area from that birth date of 1978 were on a travel team. So I played pretty much all year round indoor soccer in the way we played, all of that. So what's very interesting about these soccer fields is the location. Now, many people have seen my channel and how I've not only been at this area a lot on my channel, but down the street from it is the Marian Shrine, where I do my meditations, a lot of my meditations in the woods, and it's a very sacred area. A lot of paranormal activity in this area along the Hudson River. And there's a Catholic retreat center right down the street from here. And of course, across the street from here, directly across the street from these fields, is the Lecthworth Village Complex. Now, Lecthworth Village Complex runs for miles. So this is some of them across the street. But right now we are at a very haunted location. Over the years, I've caught literal gray type beings, gray alien type beings on camera in this location, right near this location in the woods right near here, that I have on camera, almost like it was fading out of existence, and I caught the outline of it. It's pretty intense. I have it on my camera on my Patreon as well. Yesterday I did a drive-through of some of the buildings in Lecthworth, and right now I am at a location that me and my family had an intense experience at in the 1980s. Now, coincidentally, 10 or 12 years after I had this experience with my family right here at this spot, I totaled my car when I was 16 years old. So about maybe 6 or 7 years old, maybe 17 I was. I totaled my car right at this spot as well. I ended up hitting one of these trees across the street with my car, and it wasn't even my fault. See, we are right near the Palisade Parkway entrance. A bus was coming off the Palisades Parkway, and it was rainy and wet leaves everywhere. And I had my girlfriend at the time, or girl I was hanging out with at the time, in the car when I was like 17. And a bus was coming right here off the Parkway entrance, and it came in the middle of the road, and it was across the whole road. It like came out too far, and it couldn't make the right down the turn, so it was across the whole road, the bus. And my stupid young ass was talking while I was driving, and I didn't see the bus across the street, parked across the street, so I had to swerve off the road, and I hit one of these trees and totaled my car. So very interesting that after my family has a paranormal experience, years later I crashed my car at the same spot as well. And I didn't put it together at the time, but we're going to be talking about what happened when I was a kid with my parents in the car. Now, of course, this is Lecthworth Village. You see right here is the golf course right there from that they have Lecthworth Village out of now. This whole area, the place where they have the unmarked graves of every patient that died in Lecthworth Village is down this road to the left. Now, to come off the parkway right here, you have to make a right or a left, right? So me and my family were out for dinner. We went to Chinese food. I was like 11 or 12 years old, maybe even 10 years old. And it was just getting dark out at night, and we came off this parkway entrance right here, like that car is, and you have to stop right here to either turn or left or right. So right here, me and my family's car stopped right here, just like you see this red car coming here now. We stopped just like this. As we stopped there, we heard a commotion outside of the car. So this kind of commotion that we heard sounded like chains rattling. It sounded like groaning. It sounded like somebody was going to kill us, basically. And we looked out the back of the window. I looked out of the back of the window, and my parents were looking back. We were at a complete stop, and we saw a group of 2 or 3 people. One of them was all bandaged up, like bandages all around them, and it sounded like chains were dragging across the car, like somebody had chains on them. And one of them came to the side door and tried to open my mother's door, but it was locked. Like, they grabbed the door, and the car was even shaking. My dad was like, "Let's get the fuck out of here." And my dad pulled off like that car is pulling off, but skidded out of there. As he's pulling out of there, we look back, and nothing is there. Nobody's there. It just, they like vanished. So my dad and my mom were thinking that they were loons from Lecthworth Village. I'm not sure if my mom even called the cops and reported it. But my mom and dad at the time were saying that they were escapees from Lecthworth or something like that. But there's no way they could have disappeared. It's my understanding that it was some paranormal event, and that these beings were some sort of imprint, residual psychic energy that was forming, and that was drawn to either myself, my mother, my father, or just our energy or whatever. But it was activated right there, and at this spot is where it actually took place, right here. What's very interesting is a little down the road right there, there's another sign like this. You could see the sign right there, that green sign, how it says Willow Grove Road on the top. This is the street that Lecthworth Village is on, Willow Grove Road. But you see how it's blank underneath Willow Grove Road? That's because they actually blanked out Lecthworth Village. They don't like to have signs up for it anymore. So right there, where it's blank right there, it used to say Lecthworth Village. So very interesting. Yeah. I'll be 42 years old this year. I know I don't look it, but yeah, my body definitely feels it. My teeth definitely feel it. So, but what's very interesting is these woods around here, this whole area is imprinted with interdimensional activity. Some sort of high spiritual area over here. You know, there's a reason why they call this Rockland County, because it's filled with rocks and ancient stones. And what's recorded in these ancient stones is so much history that we don't know. Now, right down the road there's another sign like this right over there where the other parkway entrance is. And that's where I took different photos at different times of the year and has found different paranormal activity. One of them looks like some sort of elongated head. It's some sort of elongated head being that has dark black eyes. I have pictures of it. That it looks almost like Aleister Crowley's lamb. If you look in a lot of Aleister Crowley's work, or even Kenneth Grant had the cult of Lamb. Lamb in Tibetan means the way, and it's a Syrian connection to the star Sirius, and the way to transport between the Syrian dimension and ours is through an egg-shaped pod, similar to what we're born in, the embryonic sac. And that's how there's some sort of transportation device that is egg-shaped or pine cone shaped or acorn shaped that it lets people travel through time, through dimensions. If you look into the Nazis, they were working with this technology as well. In fact, something came down. I forget I think it's maybe Kecksburg, Pennsylvania. Something came down probably 30 or 40 years ago now, maybe more, out of the sky that may be related to the Nazis' technology. It was like an acorn-shaped thing, and just acorns in general. Is a lot of ancient sorcery that goes along with pine cones and, of course, the pineal gland and acorns in general. It's freezing right now, but I gotta go back in the car because I'm freezing. But just in general, pine cones, acorns. What's very interesting that I could talk about a little bit with ancient Etruscan or Italian sorcery and mysticism is the idea of acorns. Now, there is a tale about the fates being related to acorns as well, and there's an interesting Italian song that kids are taught as a kid. I was taught it, that derived from 1 little 2 little 3 little acorns instead of Indians. It derived into the Indians, but it used to be 1 little 2 little 3 little acorns, and then it derived into Indians. And as a kid, the song is like uno, due, tre gattini, quattro, cinco, sei gattini, siete, otto, nove gattini, 10 gattini sono. Means like 1 little 2 little 3 little Indians, 4 little 5, and 10 little Indian boys. So it's that's a ancient spell. That song is not just a nursery rhyme, it's an ancient spell of the fates. In fact, I can probably get even more into it. Hold on, in my book. I have it written down here. Let me see if I have it bookmarked. Yes, I do. Now, it's said that Jupiter changed history. At one time, there were giants and men devouring other men. Cannibalism on our planet. But Juno, or Jupiter, the god, if you want to call them a god, or just beings with higher technology from another dimension, they forbade this cannibalism. They wanted to change the actions of humanity. And instead of devouring each other, Juno, or Jupiter, gave them acorns to eat instead. And they called these the daughters of the oak. And they resemble female heads with their hair bound in ancient fashion. The acorns, they look like a female's head with their hair bound a certain way, like in the old times, bound back. And that's what the acorns resemble. And there's a curious song that's sang backwards in ceremony to cure soreness of the mouth or tonsils. And it's talked about like 1 little 2 little 3 little acorns, but that derived, it used to be little acorn sisters, like 1 little 2 little 3 little acorn, like the acorn sisters, and then you count back until you come to nulla fit glandula, and this is your tonsils, and until there's no little acorn girl, you count back until nulla fit glandula, and this is there where there's no little acorn girl left. And that this original form, this was 10 little acorn girls, following the fingers. You count backwards on your fingers, 1 little 2 little 3 little acorn girls, 10, all the way counting out. And this is the same thing as the Indians, the 10, 1 little 2 little 3, and it's an incantation that's used in Tuscany to this very day with certain families. And it's very interesting that we talk about this, because it's interwoven into our nursery rhymes even here in America. So I'm not sure if it originated in ancient Etruria and ancient Tuscany, but it definitely has history there. And It's very interesting when you think about things like that. And the paranormal event that we experienced right here on these spots was truly intense. Uh, I remember the vibrational energy that was around the car. Like it was like something was trying to penetrate and even open the car door and get in the car at us. And of course, my dad and mother at the time, I don't know if they didn't want to scare me even more, but they were saying it was just crazies that were connected to Ledgeworth. But there definitely was. They were definitely not human. In fact, I remember looking back and just seeing bandages around somebody's head. That I don't even remember facial features. I just remembered seeing 2 or 3 people and hearing chains banging and then seeing bandages around somebody's head, and they were all bandaged up. So as I got older, I thought about it, and I was thinking that maybe these were some of the mentally retarded or mentally handicapped people that were getting experimented on. And this was their residual energy, a residual imprint. And because my family has psychic energy about it, we picked up on that, and it was surrounding us. You know, very, very interesting when you think about that. Letchworth Village is probably one of the most haunted places in the world. But like I said before, if there's a lot of negative energy that accumulates, our Earth planet can equal that negativity with positivity. We're in a polarized environment. In fact, the only way this world can end is if duality is completely gone. If we don't have a balance and say everything is just negative, our world will no longer exist. Same thing if everybody is completely utopia and positive. We will not be in this realm anymore. We will ascend to a higher dimension, a higher vibration. So when things are equal, this realm is level, and this realm is working the way it's supposed to, I guess, if you want to say that. But when everything is either all bad or all good, this world will cease to exist anymore. And that I believe in full-heartedly. This is a realm of duality. If we can fix that duality and no longer have death, then we will no longer cease to exist in this realm as we know it. And so there's a way out, either the bad way or the good way. Now, if we always stay just as much negative as just as much positive, then we stay at an equal balance in this realm, right? But we are now in a realm where the balance is off. So you see the world slowly decaying, slowly imploding in itself, because it's drifting more towards the negative in everybody. So we need to bring it back to at least a balance, if not back on our spiritual evolution track where we can actually exist, where there's no time. We're not limited and restricted by past, present, and future. We are living in a place where there's no time. So thank you everybody for joining me, and spiral out.